Hello everyone, welcome to Creatively Crafty Me. I am Charlena and today is just going to be a quick video. I just want to show y'all a blanket that I made because I think this blanket is so stinking cute and so adorable. I did make this blanket for my granddaughter as a blanket for her to have here when she comes to visit, and I'm just going to give y'all some quick updates about the blanket. Now the blanket is pretty big because I did make it to fit almost like a twin size bed, so I'm just going to keep it folded, but it is this cute little pom-pom blanket. Now I recently purchased these storage drawers to hold my yarn in, to put my yarn in, and when putting the yarn in the storage drawers, I was going through all my yarn that I had, and I came across this yarn here. So I came across this softball yarn that I had gotten from the Christmas tree shop, which by the way is closed and gone. It doesn't even exist anymore, at least not where I'm at. So that tells you that how long I had this yarn. So I came across this softball yarn, and I also came across this Pompom yarn by Red Heart. I actually forgot that I even owned this yarn here. I had 100% completely forgot that I even owned the yarn until I was actually going through the yarn, putting stuff in the bins. And I was like, I want to use this yarn. I want to use this yarn because I want to start using some of the yarn that I have in my stash. So I wasn't really sure what I would do with this yarn, but I started, just doing a little YouTube search, a little Ravelry search, searching online, and I came across a video, which right now I cannot remember the name of the channel, and I'm so sorry, but I am going to definitely include it. She had made a pom-pom blanket, and I was like, that's a really good idea. Now, she used different yarns for hers. She used, I don't know what you call it, like something like that Sheppy's yarn to make her blanket, and a different pom-pom yarn. So I was watching her video and I was like, oh, that seems simple enough. Definitely simple enough to adjust to make this blanket here. Now, of course, my stitch count had to be different within the middle of the between the pom-poms, because I think the pom-pom yarn she used was actually a little smaller, and so her stitch count had to be less. But this is a very basic blanket. It is literally just double crochets, and holding this pom-pom yarn, and just holding the pom-pom yarn straight across. So you literally don't crochet the pom-pom yarn, you crochet over the cord between the yarn. And I can't remember exactly how many stitches she had in between hers, but her stitch count didn't work for the yarn that I was currently using. So I just adjusted my stitch count to work for my yarn. And I believe that between the stitches there might be either 10 or 11 stitches. Now, I had far more of this yarn than I had of this pink yarn and this softball. But I knew how big I wanted the blanket to be. And so I started out by making my chain the length that I wanted my blanket to be, and crocheted the yarn that I had, and saw how large that was to determine how much more yarn I was going to need. So I did have to go scouring the internet to find some more of this softball yarn, which is discontinued. Thankfully, I did find somebody that had 11 skeins of this yarn in their stash that they were willing to part with. So I purchased all 11 skeins and I made my blanket. Now, I only ended up using 10 of those 11 skeins, but in total, I actually used 16 skeins of this softball yarn to make this blanket. So I used 16 skeins of this softball yarn, and I want to say 4 skeins of this what is this yarn called? This Pompadoodle yarn. This yarn goes a very long way, especially since you're only stringing it out. It goes a lot further than I thought it would. So yeah, so this is my finished blanket. I'm not going to actually open the whole blanket up, but it's halved right now, so I have it folded in half this way. So you can imagine how big it is if you double that. And this is how long it is. So this is such a cute and fun blanket. Oh, let me show you the other side, because the other side is literally just plain. Like I said, it is literally just a double crochet. So if you can double crochet, you could definitely make this blanket. So that is what the back side of the blanket look like, just a basic double crochet. And then I just have a double crochet border going around the outside. Yeah, so this is my finished project. So I made that blanket, and as you can see, I still do have more of this softball yarn. When I purchased this yarn, I purchased it in that pink, lavender, a yellow, and a peach. I believe those are the 4 colors I had. The pink, the lavender, yellow, and peach. And I am so glad that I did get this pink yarn out of my stash, even though I had to purchase more yarn. And that I got a lot of this yarn out of my stash. Now I do still have this pack. I have a total of 6 of these left. And I have this yarn here. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is make a smaller version of this blanket for my youngest granddaughter, because I'm not going to purchase more of the softball yarn. I'm just going to use what I have. I do have a total of 6 of these. So I have a total of 6, and I am just going to mix it with this same yarn here. Now there are like a darker pink. There are like darker pink, so I'm hoping that it will still look pretty and cute with the lavender yarn. But we're going to see. Like I said, it's just going to be a smaller version of this blanket so that I can use up some of what is in my stash. So I'm very excited that I literally used some yarn that was in my stash. This yarn I did not have a purpose for when I purchased it. I want to say they were like $1 a skein. They might have been like $1 a skein at the time, and that's why I purchased how much of it I did. You think they might have been $1 a skein at the time. I can't really remember, but I'm just glad that I have found a use for this yarn, and I am going to make another blanket. And it's not going to be a very big blanket, so I'm thinking it should be a pretty quick project. Like I said, I mostly want to use this up, and I thought it would be cute for them to have matching blankets, even though my youngest granddaughter is still, she's a baby. She's only a year old, so she doesn't need a super blanket. And this blanket does have a little bit of weight to it, so she doesn't need anything that is really going to bury her because she's still so little. So I'm going to make a smaller version of that blanket for her so that they could both have blankets when they spend the night here with me. Okay, guys, so that's it for now. That's all I have to tell y'all about this project. Thank you so much for joining me. Do come back, stick around, see what else I have going on, and I will talk to you in the next video. Okay, bye.